So,
Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Ramachandran, co-founder and CEO of Router Protocol. He's here to discuss how interoperability will drive the next wave of blockchain and Web3 adoption. Ram, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
thank you so much, Jill. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Let's talk about the impact of cross-chain solutions on DeFi.
Absolutely. So if you look at how traditional operating systems emerged, you had initially Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and you had all these separate applications that you couldn't really use across the board. You had a Word doc on Mac that you couldn't open up on Windows, and you had something else on Linux that you couldn't really port to another operating system, right? So at the moment, blockchains are a bit like that. You have all these interesting blockchains that optimize for one of the 3 points of the scalability the blockchain trilemma, right? Scalability, security, and decentralization. And eventually what we have is, every blockchain is taking a specific view on where they want to be on that axis. But as a result of us being in an early stage of the whole evolution, we have apps that are not really interoperable. So something that works on Ethereum is not automatically out of the box something that works on any other blockchain. So we want to get to a phase like in Web2 where you have a Word doc, a Google Doc, it opens up seamlessly whether you're on your Pixel or your MacBook or your iPhone or whatever, right? So that's where we need to get to with interoperability.
So why is interoperability key to driving the next wave of blockchain Web3 adoption?
I mean, right now it's just such a fragmented ecosystem. I mean, all the complexity of the operating system sort of receded into the background once you had AWS and once you had all these nice front-end evolution of the front-end side of things. Same way, I mean, eventually, when you have a yield farm or a trading venue or what have you, that you have an Ethereum, for an end user, it doesn't really matter whether it's an Ethereum or whether it's in Solana, or it's in BNB or Polygon or what have you, right? I mean, ultimately, you're like a user, it's like booking a ticket at Expedia.com. You want to go from point A to point B, you want a business class seat, and these are the sort of parameters on which you own these tickets. Same way, I want to swap from Ethereum to USDC, and I just want the best price possible. I want the quickest time or the cheapest fee or most efficient, whatever guidelines I set, and I just want the trade to be done. I don't care if it's an Ethereum or Solana or whatever, right? So that's why interoperability is so important. Right now, developers are spending a ton of time optimizing for each individual blockchain, right? Whereas you want to get beyond that and sort of make it seamless and simple for the end user and for the developers.
So Ram, what's your outlook for broader industry trends as it relates to NFTs and the metaverse?
Look, I mean, I'm still trying to grok I like a lot of the folks that got into crypto before 2017. NFTs and metaverse they're fascinating. It's very mimetic, very narrative driven. But I think the real use cases are still some distance away. I mean, there's a lot of marketing opportunities with that, but I've still not understood the real use case of NFTs. I mean, it's a very unpopular view, right? I'm much more DeFi and decentralized computing, and I'm much more excited about the developments we have in zero knowledge proof and scalability and security, in self-sovereign identity, the core innovation at the heart of the machine. That's what excites me more.
And Ram, to wrap up here, explain to us where Router fits in the ecosystem and what are your plans for 2022 and beyond?
No, absolutely. So Router currently is a set of protocols that enables cross-chain messaging. So going back to the analogy that I used earlier, you have an easy way of communicating, software to communicate between various operating systems. So think of Router as something like that for Web3, where developers can easily use Router and build software that communicates easily between blockchains. So they don't have to worry about the underlying complexity of whether it's Ethereum or Solana or whatever, right? When you build on any one chain, but immediately you can deploy across chains. So that's the core value proposition for Router. I mean, you have the Voyager app, which is like the anchor product for Router. You have the SDK, the Crosstalk SDK, you have the widgets, you have all these product suite. Roadmap going forward, what's exciting is, Router is going to have its own blockchain. So I think by early 2023, we'll debut our own blockchain, which will be a cross-chain primitive on which any blockchain or any app that wants to build on any blockchain can natively also integrate the router blockchain and be interoperable. That's the vision for the next couple of quarters.
All right, Ram, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you so much, Jill.